Hello and welcome to Faces of the Fans, WinkBall's weekly football show for the fans, by the fans. I'm Liam.
And I'm Kieran. Coming up on this week's show, Arsenal v Tottenham, Rochdale v Swindon,
Birmingham v Chelsea, and Barnet v Northampton.
What a fantastic weekend of football for some teams and even more for some fans.
Now let's have a look at one of those fans in this week's
Wink of the Week.
And this week's Wink of the Week is Bernard, outside the Emirates Stadium, and a very happy Tottenham supporter.
My name's Bernard, the team is Tottenham Hotspur, and to Harry, thank you very much. Thank you very much, we deserve that.
So Bernard, if that was you, log on to winkball.com, register, send us a wink, and you could earn yourself £100.
Great wink, Bernard. If that's you, log on to winkball.com, sign up, send us a wink, and you could win £100.
Or if you're Bernard's mate, get him to send us a wink and he can win £100. It's as easy as that. And it leads us nicely into our first two games. We have Arsenal against Tottenham and Rochdale against Swindon.
3-0 Arsenal, easy.
And what's your prediction for the match?
I reckon 3-2 Tottenham Hotspur, Van der Vaart last minute.
Arsenal 3-1.
I think Tottenham Hotspur will win 3-2.
Arsenal 4-1. I think Sami Al-Nasri is going to do very, very well this season. I'm an Arsenal fan, man. Come on, Arsenal.
Gareth Bale, Van der Vaart, Luka Modric, Jermaine Defoe last 20 minutes. Job done.
And Peter from Windsor.
What's your message for the manager?
Win today, go top.
Byron Jones, Tottenham supporter. Just wishing Harry and the boys well today. Fancy 3 points today.
First half we were absolutely rubbish, second half we come out and we was the best, mate. I tell you what, no stopping us second half, superb, 3-2, well deserved, should have been 4. Come on you Spurs.
My player on the match more fun ball.
How about you?
I was Gallas.
Thanks boys, enjoy it.
Oh, I'm with you.
Flew in from New York yesterday. 2-0 up against Spurs, doesn't get better. Lose 3-2, doesn't get worse.
My name's Bernard, the team is Tottenham Hotspur, and to Harry, thank you very much. Thank you very much, we deserve that.
I'm a Swindon fan and I think that Swindon are going to win 2-1.
Now we're expecting a good game, but we think Rochdale will win 3-2.
Are there going to be any specific players to watch out for?
Players to watch out for, Craig Dawson as always. He's a fantastic player. Let's hope that he can score off a corner or something like that.
And if you push to, what's the score prediction?
If we're going to have a Dale win, I reckon it'd be something like 2-1, 3-1, something like that.
My name's Sam Maggs, I'm obviously a Swindon Town fan as well. Depending on which team turns up today, I mean we got 3-1 to Town, I'm going.
2-1 Swindon, Charlie Austin first, come on boys.
Was there a man of the match for you in particular?
I would have said Jason Kennedy initially, but I think Gary Jones probably just about took it with his 2 goals.
And how about a message for the manager?
Message for the manager, it's getting there, keep it going, we've still got the faith. You know, I know we're going about formations, but you know, we still believe.
And he's still a legend.
And he's still a legend.
Disappointing result for Arsenal, who could have gone top of the league but were in the end thwarted by long-time rivals Tottenham Hotspurs.
Anyway, moving along nicely, we're going to talk about this week's issue of the week. And 'tis the season to be jolly. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. But 'tis it the season to have a Christmas winter break for football players. Let's see what you guys had to say on this week's issue of the week.
Well, it's going to extend the season into the summer break, so with the size of the squads now, I can't see how it's an advantage.
So you'd be against it, you think?
Well, yeah.
You don't think there's an argument sort of when there's a World Cup year that perhaps players should have a bit of time off in Christmas? It's quite a hard time to play lots of games.
Well, start the season a bit earlier.
I think it'd be a bad idea to have a winter break because the season as it is already too busy, and if we had a winter break it'd be too hard to compact everything back into the space allowed. So I think it's a bad idea overall.
I think the downside is that, especially at this level in this league, they've got that many teams in the league that you're going to struggle to get all the matches in to fit the break in on top of that. I think the solution is to have less games in the league, but obviously then the clubs won't like that because they're going to lose out on revenue. So it's going to be really hard. I understand the benefits, but the cons are you're going to have less games potentially and less revenue.
No, you should be able to play in all seasons on any pitch. That's where you grow up playing football. So why have a winter break? got it to be soft. It's only 90 minutes.
So, some interesting thoughts from you guys there. What do you think about this week's issue?
It'd be a disappointment to miss the football on Boxing Day for me. I mean, yeah, you need to go away from your family a little bit, don't you?
You can play PlayStation though.
Yeah, it's not the same.
FIFA. Be alright.
Computer versus computer.
Brilliant. Anyway, let's have a look at what some of our experts had to say on this week's issue.
Christmas breaks appear to have a good influence on leagues abroad. There is obviously a big monetary issue in this country where we play an absolutely packed programme, particularly in the winter months. And even the FA Cup third round starts in the first week of January, so I'm not sure how practical it is to have a winter break. It would certainly benefit the national team, for example, if players weren't so tired when they were leaving their clubs and going to play in major tournaments. But beyond that, I think it's something that would be nice to have, but for someone like the Premier League to get all 20 members of the Premier League to agree to something like that, I think would be highly unlikely. And also, I thought Harry Redknapp made a really good point recently where he said, you know, if there was a winter break, clubs would be packing their teams off to Asia to play, you know, big money spinning exhibition games, so there wouldn't really be a break as such. It would just be seen as another commercial opportunity to make people to make their players go out and play again.
Do you think that there should be a Christmas break for football?
Massively, I really strongly believe this, because if you look at, you know, people say it would benefit the national team, and I think it would, but you've got, you know, and some people argue against that, but if you look at the World Cup, it wasn't just the England players that were faltering. It's difficult to pick out a single Premier League player, except maybe Carlos Tevez, who sort of had a good World Cup, and that cannot be coincidence with the quality of the players we have in the league, and in, you know, and how important they are to their national sides and big sides as well. And I just think, you know, you must be running on empty by that point. You really must, not having had a break at all, especially as the Christmas period is so busy. Obviously that would then lead to sort of a fixture pile up elsewhere, but other countries deal with it, you know, they manage it, and it's just something I think we should be bringing in. Because I think, you know, the Premier League has a responsibility to England. I really think they do. Just sort of kind of almost, you know, morally, really, it's sort of the guardian of the game, and I don't think they're doing enough to sort of to look at that. I mean, it might not work, you know, it might just be that England are rubbish, you know. We've proven so many times that we can be, but I think for the sake of the sort of players, it should be looked at.
I do have to say I like that WinkBall taxi, especially with Jim's flowing hair inside it.
Indeed. If you've got anything to say on this week's issue of the week, then sign on to winkball.com and send us a wink, and you could be the star of next week's show.
So, let's go to our final two games of the show. We have Birmingham v Chelsea and Barnet versus Northampton.
My name's John, I'm from London, I'm a Chelsea fan. We're going to win 2-1 today.
I reckon it'll be 3-2, a good game.
I did one of these last week when we lost at home 3-0, so today 0-0, no game, rubbish.
What do you make of the game today?
Chelsea has let it slip a little bit, got some injuries, but to be honest, they should be putting their finger out a bit more than they have been.
What's the problem, do you think?
I think it's a bit cold for them all, to be honest.
Okay, what do you make of the two teams?
Very good game.
Does Chelsea look like Premier League champions to you?
Yes.
Really, even though they lost?
Yes.
Yeah, just a great game. Both of them held it in. Foster was outstanding.
Ben Foster, man of the match, yeah?
Definitely.
Prediction for the score, sir?
Oh, 2-1 Northampton.
All right.
I'm an optimist, so I'm going to go 2-0 Barnet.
Predictions 3-0 to Northampton.
It'll be a tight game, but I think we'll end up winning it 2-1.
Phil Langdale.
And your man of the match?
Marshall.
Thank you.
The guy on the wing, number 20.
Marshall?
I think, if that's his name, it was fantastic.
Excellent.
It's nice when you've got a really bad display like that from the Cobblers that Andy Holt and Johnson come over and thank the fans for coming to watch it.
If there's any consolation in Arsenal losing this week, it's got to be Chelsea losing to Birmingham. 3 out of 4 games they lost now. And that shows what a strange Premiership season it's been so far.
Yeah, very much so. It's been one of ups and downs. I mean, I for one would have thought Lee Bowyer would have been retiring by now, but he's really returning to form.
Yeah, scored a good goal. He's been about for about 20 years now. But yeah, anyway, that brings us to the end of the show. Before we go, we are going to talk about next week's issue of the week. which focuses around compensation for international injuries. So if a team, say Liverpool, loses Steven Gerrard to international duty, then should they be compensated for this? And we're going to talk about it for international teams as well. And we're also going to say, send in an email to football@winkball.com if there's any issues you wish us to discuss in future shows.
But until next week, look out for the yellow and the blue. See you later.
Bye.